talking about fintech and how Karnataka and Bangalore is contributing to the larger ecosystem. Good morning once again, esteemed guests, colleagues and industry leaders. I think as it happens after the initial program, there's a bit of a disruption. If I may request everyone to sort of settle down. Finance is the opposite of the weather. Nobody talks about it, but everybody does something about it. And that's what Rebecca Johnson said. And through this conference, we are doing few things, rather a lot of things. And I think that is something which is quite fascinating. It is an honor to be in this World Fintech Summit, not just as a professional, but as co-architect of a more inclusive, agile and resilient financial ecosystem. I have to talk about the financial ecosystem for future. When I think about the financial sector for the future, I am reminded of how far we have come and how much further we can go. As Mahatma Gandhi said, the future depends on what we do today. Now think about it, and many of you in this hall are too young to really realize that few decades ago, getting a telephone was a distant dream. People used to go and make rounds to the telephone department to get a telephone. Thanks to a visionary leader and a super fine technocrat, they made telephone and the mobile and the data as a commodity. Fast forward, another visionary leader not only brought liberalization, but also created and thought about Aadhaar as an unique identifier, and that really transformed the next set of growth for the entire economy and the country. And then another visionary leader took this Aadhaar to a new level, created Bandhan, and then this whole digital ecosystem and the UPI came. So the country has been progressing rapidly over several decades, and many of you tend to take this for granted. What you don't realize is that we have come enough, and I think we have got a lot more to go. Thanks to all the visionary leaders who have come, irrespective of the political spectrum, they have really contributed in taking this country forward. Our focus is fairly clear: building financial ecosystem of the future. It's a vision that not only involves technology, but at the center, it centers around collaboration, trust, and inclusivity. I'll talk about few key areas. What is the outlook of Indian economy? I'll talk about the role of banks in really building the financial ecosystem. I'll of course talk about some bit of digital disruption that's happening and how that is impacting the banking sector. Of course, a conference like this cannot go without talking about cybersecurity. I think that's the minister spoke several times. Honorable Minister said really showed a lot of concern about that particular area. And of course, a program like this cannot go without talking about financial inclusion and, to me, financial empowerment as the larger domain. And so let's talk about the outlook of the Indian economy. India's trade with the wealthy nations is growing at a very rapid pace. Barring this little recent Trump phenomenon, I think it is continuing to grow. Most of the countries and the investors are preferring India over China because of several reasons. That effectively has an ability to make India as the factory to the world. Thanks to COVID, work from home, the offshoring has increased significantly. The offshoring share of India has increased significantly. That effectively makes India an office to the world. So you have an opportunity to become the factory to the world. You have an opportunity to become the office to the world. And all of these have a significant impact in per capita income and the overall growth of the economy, faster economic development. What happens if you have a per capita income going up? You have more wealthy people, but also you see a lot of people from the bottom of the pyramid, they go up and become middle income. So for example, between FY26 to FY31, the middle income population will grow by 134%, which means they will have a lot more discretionary spending, which means the financial sector has a significant ability to grow from what it is today to manifold. Now, if you have to say the role of banks, obviously the banks will play a pivotal role in shaping the future of finance by transitioning from traditional to more agile and customer-centric ecosystem. 90 odd banks, the most prominent ones are actually employing more than 15 lakh individuals directly and millions indirectly and contributing significantly. Indian banking sector is blessed to have the oversight of the most proactive, the most agile regulator in the world, which is in the form of Reserve Bank of India. I think they are seen to be not only forward-looking, pragmatic, but interestingly, they are also supportive of the growth of fintech and various other policies, which is really, really shaping the future of finance in India. As a trusted custodian of the financial assets, banks will leverage the deep-rooted expertise to integrate digital solutions that enhances customer experience, security, and convenience. In doing so, the banks will become the linchpin of more interconnected, resilient, and inclusive financial ecosystem supporting economic growth and well-being of communities. And by embracing open banking and fostering relationship, banks will continue to create seamless ecosystem that connects consumer for broader range of services, whether it is integrated lending, investment management, or real-time payments. Let me give a very simple example. You think about, let's say, Shivamogga district and a farmer in that particular area, or the farmer community in that area. They really don't look at banking as I need to open a deposit account. So traditional bank will go set up a branch and then look for a customer who can bring some deposits and then possibly sell some auto loan or a car loan or give a personal loan. But what if we think of that particular area and say the farmer actually is looking for what is the right crop for to be harvesting? What is the right crop? Can I give them the idea about it? Can I give them ideas about weather and give them the right tools and technologies? If the farmer needs a bridge loan before the sowing season, can we support them? Can we get a tractor finance for them if the farmer is needing tractor? Can we get the best price or the best market for the farmer? Now, therefore, the future of banks would be part of that ecosystem of the farmer community and bring in financial products at the various stages rather than becoming a traditional brick and mortar bank. And that's what I'm talking about open banking and interconnected ecosystem. So that's something that is going to happen in future. Now let's quickly talk about the digital disruption. I think a lot has been spoken previously. The whole financial landscape, the tech transformation, UPI being the revolution. UPI actually created a transformation in the payment system in the country. India accounts for 49% of the global payments. ONDC, digital health record, DigiLocker, account aggregator, significant game changer. I think the panel spoke a lot about it. 12,000 firms in India, almost 150 billion valuation. And all of these are happening with Bengaluru having the best tech talents in the country. Bengaluru will continue to be sort of taking the lead position in that. And I think we all will continue to get the benefit. I don't talk much about it because this is the audience which knows most about what I had to talk about the digital disruption. Now let me get to the point on financial inclusion, which to me is an extremely important area. And more than financial inclusion, with so many Jan-Dhan accounts, inclusion above more or less happened. I think the time has now come for empowerment. In the midst of economic mobility, in the midst of all of these, the economic mobility is not yet fully reflected in the distribution of financial assets and deposits. Take for example, metro and urban continues to dominate with nearly 80% of the country's deposits and financial instruments. The rural and semi-urban regions are, despite having improved income levels, have remained underrepresented in the formal financial savings, highlighting a persistent gap in the financial inclusion and banking outreach. India's future growth story hinges not just on rising incomes, but also on how effectively this wealth is channelized into formal financial system. It is crucial that we leave no one behind in our journey towards progress, and that every citizen, irrespective of their background and geographical location, has access to the opportunities and the benefits that come with a growing economy. The shift to a tech-driven approaches has improved accessibility, but that has to play a significant role in achieving this vision of Vikasit Bharat by 2047. For example, can technology augment the speed of bringing rural and semi-urban population into larger financial ecosystem beyond this whole QR code and the UPI payment system? Can the banks and the FIs partner with local communities, local governments to leverage mobile first solution and invest in digital literacy programs to address this issue? I'll give you two examples of how as bank, Bandhan Bank, we are transforming and we have contributed in the transformation. We are a bank originated out of a microfinance and then NGO. We have got more than 2 crore customers. We are an universal bank, but we have a largest segment of our customer is from the microfinance community. All of these customers are women. All of them are entrepreneurs. And these customers have in their own right, they actually are progressing and taking this country forward. We call customers to our customer service committee of the board meeting. And other day I was interacting with a customer. She came, we wanted to hear what is their feedback. So he said, what do you do? She said, I run a restaurant. So what's the name of a restaurant? She said, Silar Kitchen. That's like Sila's Kitchen. Her name is Sila. She took 8,000 rupee loan 10 years back. That time she was carrying a kettle to serve tea and selling tea. Fast forward that, today she is running a restaurant. She has got a 3-bedroom house. She has 2 children, both doing graduates, and she is quite confident both of them will get a job in Bandhan Bank. And she has a plan for her future. So we interacted with her saying that, why do you think that customers come to you? She said, for me, I stay awake till 2 o'clock. If a customer comes at 2 o'clock, I will not let the customer go. If I have a couple of rotis for myself, I'll give it to the customer. I believe that my product quality, my taste of my food is very, very good. And she says that I keep my shop very, very clean and hygienic. So she has given us a lesson on what is customer centricity. She said customer is first. She said hygiene is important. And she says, I said that why are you not getting few more people to join you? She said, no, right now my focus is to get my husband to work with me. She used to be an auto driver before. She's now joined me and he is helping me to run my company now. So what is your future? He said, I want to set up a biryani shop. Now look at this. Then one of our colleagues said that, but in that area, in Ruby area, there is a large biryani shop called Simla Biryani. How do you think you will compete? She said that I believe that the product quality that I produce and the customer support that I give and I stay awake so long, the customer will come to me. So she has a plan for a future expansion. Look at the confidence. A lady who was selling tea in a kettle 10 years back with 8,000 rupee loan, today she is doing this and she's doing a business at least worth of, she's saving net of at least 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees. That's the transformation that can happen with that small 8,000 rupees. That's why I don't call it a financial inclusion. I call it financial empowerment. I think that is something which is super important. Now take for another customer of ours. She took a 25,000 rupees loan around 8-10 years back. She makes those swings, jhula. And 4 months back, 4-5 months back, she has got a contract from Singapore government worth 35 crores. She employs 400 people. 80% of them are women. That's the power that you can create by giving that small 25,000 rupees. So my point is that we talk a lot about AI, ML, data science, blockchain, and whole bunch of GPT. Can we use technology to bring in alternate sources of data rather than going by this traditional credit underwriting model and really take credit call on some of these customers who are so genuine, who are so honest and really willing to transform their life and in the bargain transforming this whole country. So can you do that is something that I would say is important for us. It's beyond financial inclusion of Bandhan account or having a savings account and bringing the money into the banking account. Can you do that collectively is something that I will talk about. Now, let me talk about this other point which I asked the Honorable Minister a question about cybersecurity. Think about the importance. The increasing importance of cybersecurity in the banking sector as the digital transformation accelerates is going to be very, very important. The rise in cybercrimes and the frauds are presenting a growing challenge in the banking sector. There has been 27% increase in fraud cases. In the last financial year, there were frauds to the tune of 42,000 crores in India. That's a lot of money. So many customers are impacted through this. The fraudsters are stealing money and they are routing it through multiple accounts, exploit the ignorance of citizens, and the larger ecosystem and the vulnerabilities using their advanced tactics. Banks, of course, are adopting a whole bunch of things in terms of cybersecurity measures, fraud monitoring, real-time transaction monitoring. But all parties, the police, the cyber cell, the law enforcement agencies, government, citizens, banks, fintech companies, we all need to partner a lot more aggressively to stop this menace. And the time to act is now, because if we don't do that, the confidence of the common citizens on banking, digital, and the larger payment system will go off, because that's something which is a serious risk that the country poses. We need to really do something about it very, very quickly to promote digital habits. And more importantly, we have to come together to stop that greed. As Will Smith, a Hollywood actor, once said, too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like. And that's the greed that is really at the center stage of all of this. So the future of finance is said to be defined by open network. As I said, the part of the ecosystem. Banks will evolve into ecosystem orchestrator. Embedded finance will become the norm. Rather than becoming a traditional bank, how to embed finance into the lives of the ecosystem players is going to be very, very important. And fintechs and tech companies will be key to this innovation. Personalization will reach new heights, fostering deeper connection between consumers and their financial well-being. Trust will be built on both traditional values and cutting-edge practices in data security, transparency, and consumer empowerment. The future of banking will also embrace sustainability, adopting practices that benefit both people and the planet. In conclusion, I would like to say that the banks will champion financial ecosystem of the future by ensuring equitable access to services while continuing to prioritize sustainability and responsible banking practices. I urge everyone, whether the banks, fintechs, regulatory bodies, tech firms, to collaborate in building this together. I'm excited and optimistic about the future we are building together. Despite the challenges, the opportunities are limitless. Together, we can make financial services more accessible and personalized and impactful than ever before. Tomorrow is another chance. But as Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Thank you. Thank you, Elets, for having me here. Thank you once again.